From the PEP Radio newsroom, this is the daily news for January 8th, 2025. These are the stories we are covering at this hour. A shooting outside a church building in Salt Lake City, Utah, left 2 people dead and several more injured Wednesday, local media reported. The shooting took place in the parking lot of a meeting house of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, widely known as the Mormon Church, according to the Deseret News. A funeral was reportedly taking place inside, it said. Authorities said no suspect was in custody, KUTV reported. Video from the scene showed a large number of emergency response vehicles with flashing lights. In other news, overpowering Speaker Mike Johnson, a bipartisan coalition in the House voted Wednesday to push forward a measure that would revive an enhanced pandemic-era subsidy that lowered health insurance costs for roughly 22 million people, but that expired last month. The tally of 221 to 205 was a key test before passage of the bill, which is expected Thursday, and it came about because 4 GOP centrist lawmakers joined with Democrats in signing a so-called discharge petition to force the vote. After last year's government shutdown failed to resolve the issue, they said doing nothing was not an option, as many of their constituents face soaring health insurance premiums beginning this month. Representative Mike Lawler of New York, one of the Republicans who crossed party lines to back the Democratic proposal, portrayed it as a vehicle senators could use to reach a compromise. No matter the issue, if the House puts forward relatively strong bipartisan support, it makes it easier for the senators to get there, Lawler said. In the end, 9 Republicans joined Democrats to advance the measure. In news from Minnesota, an Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer shot and killed a Minneapolis driver on Wednesday during the Trump administration's latest immigration crackdown on a major American city. The shooting, the federal officials said, was an act of self-defense, but that the mayor described as reckless and unnecessary. The 37-year-old woman was shot in the head in front of a family member in a snowy residential neighborhood south of downtown Minneapolis, just a few blocks from some of the oldest immigrant markets and about a mile from where George Floyd was killed by police in 2020. Her killing after 9:30 a.m. was recorded on video by witnesses, and the shooting quickly drew a large crowd of angry protesters. By evening, hundreds were there for a vigil to mourn her death and urge the public to resist immigration enforcers. And turning to Pennsylvania news, scams are on the rise in Pennsylvania, with the state attorney general's office reporting an increase in incidents and financial losses as scammers leverage artificial intelligence to make their schemes more convincing. And it breaks my heart every time I see someone lose to that to a scam that could have been prevented, said State Attorney General Dave Sunday. In 2024, 3,500 scams were reported to the Attorney General's office, which increased to 4,000 last year. The financial losses are staggering, with $45 million lost in 2024 and $75 million in 2025. Senior citizens remain the primary targets for scammers. We created an elder exploitation unit whose sole purpose is to identify, investigate, and prosecute scammers here in Pennsylvania, Sunday said. He noted that artificial intelligence has become a game changer for scammers, making their schemes more believable. But now the scams are so good that I have trouble sometimes figuring out if it's a scam or not. I mean, that's how good they are, he added. And that's the news at this hour. If you are watching our news videos on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.